Alright, hello everybody, my name is Dalton Rutlinger, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Sailwind. This is the Dhow only challenge. In the previous episode, we went to Serpent Isle, then we went to the Dragon Cliffs to change out some rigging on the boat. Couldn't do things quite the way I really wanted to, but what can you do? Then I came back to Sage Hills off screen just to do another mission or two. So, yeah, in this episode, I think I'm going to aim for Sanctuary, because Sanctuary is one of the bigger pains to get to in this region, so I'd kind of like to get that one out of the way. Plus, we haven't really been there yet. And yeah, tea to Sanctuary brings in a pretty decent price, but maybe we'll find something else. I'm not planning to show the entire journey like I did last time, though. I've got some things I need to do behind the scenes. So there'll probably be a lot of jumps and stuff in this video. Ooh, medicine to Sanctuary. That's even more to Crab Beach. You know, we could go to Crab Beach. We could do like a 2-for-1. I'll have to think about that. Oh. Green tobacco to Newport. Oh, man, Oh, what do I do? What do I do? I want to go to Sanctuary just so I can get it out of the way. Because it's basically the equivalent of the Alchemist Isle in Aulonk, where it has like the energy elixir drink. But other than that, there's not really any real reason to go there, because it doesn't really export anything, and it doesn't really import that much either. Oh, that is so tempting, though. That is so freaking tempting. Admittedly, you know, money isn't that big of a deal for this playthrough, so okay, so the Sanctuary T is 196. Medicine is 200. And I think we're still going to take some green tobacco. God, it is expensive, though. Yeah, we're going to take some green tobacco to Sanctuary. And might as well take some tea since I'm here. There we go. Alright, I'm going to get all this stuff loaded up, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Right, here we go. We've got a crate of tea up here, as well as 2 boxes of weed, basically. And then over here we've got the same thing. So the weight has been kind of evenly distributed. We're good for energy and good for resources, so I guess it's just cast off. I guess... You know, hang on a second, hang on. I'm going to take a mission just so I can have a map. Provided that there actually is. Ah, here we go. And that, you know, that pays a pretty decent price too, so might as well take it. Can I just put you on like that? Yeah, it looks like you'll stay. And you like that. Works for me. Okay. The wind is blowing in a that-wayish sort of direction, so... Right, so Sanctuary is all the way up here on the exact opposite side of the map. So we've got a long journey for this one. And we have a couple ways of doing this. One way is to sail around this way and just go south of the Dragon Cliffs themselves, then head north, which might be the better option now that I think about it, because the wind blows from the east. It's going to make getting across here kind of a royal pain in the butt, but getting up north should be a little bit easier in theory. I'm going to go for it. It might turn out to be a disaster, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, basically, and I'm kind of tired of going around that way. I want to see the island from this perspective for once. Might as well go ahead and get this thing raised up. Let it down so it gets through that bug. And alright. You know what, I might as well let this one out too. Might as well catch all the wind that we can. But I don't want to catch so much wind that I run the risk of capsizing. Actually, you know what? This one is fine. This one might be a bit big, though. Yeah, look at that. My entire starboard side is trying to go underneath the water. It's not good. It's not good at all. I can try and tighten this thing up a little bit. Catch as much wind as possible. I'm going to say that right there should be good. Then I'm going to loosen this one. Just so there's not quite so much wind hitting that sail. All right, and off we go. Okay, so I've just made a slight turn northbound. We are now heading almost directly east. The biggest problem I'm facing right now is that the wind is actually blowing from an actual northerly direction, which is the direction I'm trying to go. Would you believe the wind blowing from the direction you're trying to go in Sailwind? It's never been heard of before, I swear. But yeah, the plan is I'm going to circle around the long way. If that's the Dragon Cliffs over there, which it very much should be, I'm looking at the very southeastern part of the island. So I should be... I want to say I'm around in here somewhere. So the plan is to kind of circle around like this, head out really far east, head up north, then kind of circle back around south to Sanctuary. The only downside to doing it like this is there's not as many landmarks as there would be going up north. You know, like if I was doing this sort of a route, I could keep track of where the Dragon Cliffs are, the Serpent Isle is, Crab Beach, Newport, and eventually I could find my way to Sanctuary. But doing it like this, I've just got to keep an eye on where the heck Sanctuary is. Or not Sanctuary, the Dragon Cliffs are. So, not as many landmarks to go by this time, but we should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn a little bit further to the north. So long as I can continue to catch at least some wind in my sails, I'll be happy. I'm going to go ahead and bring this gaff in a little bit. I would kind of like to have the other sails, to be honest, like the junk sails. But this boat is just not really that compatible with them. You can get like the 5-yarder sails, but that's about it for this boat. And you know, they actually don't look that bad on this boat. To be fair, they look pretty swish, actually. At least as far as my opinion goes, they don't look bad on this Dhow at all. Which I'm very pleasantly surprised by. And I think I can get away with a bit further to the north, but I don't want to chance my luck too much. There we go. That will work for me. In fact, I'm going to turn a little bit further back east. I want to try and keep as much wind in my sails as possible. Alright, so I'll see you guys probably in the morning. Okay, so it's not quite morning yet, but we have made our turn northwards. As you can see right now, we're more or less heading north by northeast, so I think we should be more or less pointing directly at Sanctuary for the time being. I doubt we can see it on our telescope, but you never know. Sanctuary is a very small island. It's kind of a... I think it's a volcano, actually. It's not the size of Mount Malefic from the Astron region, but I believe it is an actual volcano. Its shape kind of gives that vibe to me. And I think Mount Malefic even, has smoke coming out of its crater. If you get close enough, you can actually see smoke coming out of its crater. I think that's the case. But admittedly, I could be very wrong about that. I might be thinking about Rome Total War, actually, because if you invade Sicily and you fight on the slopes of the volcano, you can actually see smoke coming out of the crater. I might be getting my games mixed up, who knows. But now that the sun's coming up, we should be able to see some distant islands at some point or another. But for right now, I can't see anything. It's kind of a shame. I'm to try and give you guys a good shot. Maybe I can use it as a thumbnail. I think I should probably turn maybe a bit further eastwards. There we go. I love the sunrises and sunsets in this game. They are very pretty. Ooh, I got a lot of good pops in that stretch. Ooh. I was needing that. Going to turn that off, I suppose. So, I can never remember your name. You've been watching my videos pretty much ever since the beginning. Oh, look at there, you can actually still see the Sage Hills. Well, what do you know? So the thing about the previous episode, where you could actually see, like, the distant lands and whatnot, that's just the Sage Hills there. I've been told that you can kind of go to them, but they're not really there. Like, the islands are kind of in the game, like the ghosts of the island are kind of in the game, but if you go to them, it's kind of difficult to explain. But the way he wrote the comment, I just kind of decided to not bother going to them, because I didn't want to spoil things for me too much. But it seems I was more or less right on the money, though, because if that's going to be where the new archipelago is, like out there somewhere, between, it's like out in this part of the map somewhere. It's out in this direction. It's between Serpent Isle and Sage Hills. If you look further out to the west, you can actually see the structure of the islands. Excuse me? Oh, okay. But I presumed that the new archipelago, if it was going to have the same architecture as the Dragon Cliffs, that it would be somewhere around the Dragon Cliffs. And it looks like it might be like latitude 30 and longitude 3. If the silhouettes in the distance are any indication of what's actually coming. That's probably going to mess some people up. If they're sailing from Gold Rock City to the Dragon Cliffs, you're going to see those silhouettes in the distance and think that they're almost to the Dragon Cliffs, and there's going to be nothing there, and they're going to be very confused. Watch that happen to Sim Gamer, actually, because he's in the process of crossing the ocean to get to this region in a sandbuck. Watch him get distracted by the by the new archipelago that's kind of there, but at the same time not. And he actually starts sailing for that archipelago. Oh, that would be hilarious. Any islands on the horizon? I see nothing because of the sails. But moments like this, in my opinion, is when the game is at its best. When you've got a nice sunrise, a nice calm sea, maybe some waves. Oh, it's just so chill. It is so freaking chill. It's probably the best thing this game has going for it. It's just the absolute chill vibe. A lot of people say they want to see pirates added to the game. I'm not so sure if I would actually want to see that or not. I mean, I would love to see more commerce. Don't get me wrong. I would love that. I would absolutely love to see more ships on the oceans going into ports, docking. You know, maybe in the long run we can actually see cranes unloading cargo or loading cargo onto the bigger ships. We can see workers on the docks just moving around. You know, just adding some people just kind of moving around in the cities themselves would bring so much life to the game. You know, I was enjoying the weather, and now all of a sudden, it looks like we're going to have a storm here before too long. Well, I mean, this region is known for storms, so whatever. But yeah, I would absolutely love to see this game add in some new commerce and stuff, just to make the game feel more alive, you know? Like, I will fight tooth and nail saying that that Raw Lion just needs to add in mod support. I mean, look at what mods have done for Skyrim for crying out loud. Look at what they're probably gonna do for not Sailwind, Star Citizen. I've already forgotten the name of that new game that was just released by Bethesda. I think it's Star Citizen. I That game was so hyped up, and it flopped miserably, at least as far as my opinion goes. I've seen a lot of people extremely unhappy with the game. But either way, the point still stands. I mean, mods will probably fix Star Citizen. Mods kept Skyrim alive for well over a decade. Mods have kept Oblivion alive for almost 2 decades at this point. Ravenfield, a game that's basically just like about red and blue military teams going against each other, is still active to this day, even though it came out like full release back in, I want to say 2017. It would have been sooner. It might have been 2016. But it still has a very active modding community, which keeps the game alive. I mean, I don't mean to discredit, Raw Lion for all the hard work that he's put into this game. I mean, this game is fantastic. It's absolutely great. But I think that adding in the mod support would not hurt the game at all whatsoever. In fact, it would probably bring more people to buy the game. Because whenever they're looking at the information on the Steam store page, and they're thinking, this game looks kind of interesting, then they buy it, they play it, and then they get frustrated, or maybe they do everything there is to do in the game, and then they just uninstall it and look onwards, and then they just kind of forget about the game for months, maybe even years, until they see the next update has been released. Then they install it again, they check it out, and that's all they do. Whereas if you add in, the Steam Workshop, you add in support for Nexus mods, you add in support for whatever modding community suits you, people will be able to make the game the way that they themselves want it to be. And I know, I keep pushing for mod support, but I gotta find something to talk about. There's only so much I can talk about in these videos. It's difficult to find things to talk about and do things in the background. And I like sailing for you guys in the daytime. I try and skip night as much as possible. Sometimes it's not always possible, but still. Yeah, the wind keeps pushing us towards the west. It might be a good idea to just bring this one in so we're not catching quite so much wind. I mean, think about, you give a modder enough time, they could add in more and more islands. They wouldn't be official islands, of course, but I mean, they might even be like, direct copy and pasted from other regions. But you would have more places to sail to. You would have a much larger ocean to explore. Like, I don't care if it is copy and pasted, I want to go to other places. Like, you look at the map here. Look out west of Astron. There's nothing there. I mean, people could add in something out west of Astron. They could add something like directly in the middle, kind of west of Happy Bay. They could add something in the middle of Gold Rock City and the Dragon Cliffs. They could add in a couple of outposts or something. I mean, just let the modding teams just go to town with this game. I mean, the possibilities are quite literally endless. One thing I wouldn't mind seeing would be a steamship, personally. Like, I don't mean like, 20th century style steamships. I mean like the very, very early types of steamships where like the steam engine itself was built, then the ship was built around the steam engine itself. The way it could be balanced out, because the idea being that the steamship would allow you to sail directly against the wind, right? But the way it'd be balanced out is with the fact that the coal would be very expensive to buy and to fill up onto the ship, and then you wouldn't have as much cargo room to transport stuff because the steam engine itself would be taking up so much room. And it might be extremely heavy, it might be extremely cumbersome, maybe it doesn't handle all that great, it might have a worse steering circle than, or a worse turning circle than the brig does, which the brig has an absolutely abhorrent turning circle. I mean, just throw out some options. I mean, I know people are going to make, like, old passenger steam lines like the Titanic, for example. But let them. I mean, if they want to have the Titanic in the game, let them have the Titanic in the game. It would absolutely kill the vibe this game is going for, but I mean, if you want to mod in the Titanic and sail from island to island, go for it. That's what I say. Might be fun to kind of switch the game up a bit every now and then, Yeah, the wind is pushing us closer and closer to the Dragon Cliffs. I'm not real fond of that. Oh, okay. These waves are not messing around today, apparently. just keep the boat facing north as much as possible. Had some really rough seas today, apparently. I think that as a small boat like this, you would actually be like scrambling to get to land as quickly as possible. So I think realistically, I'd actually want to be heading closer to the Dragon Cliffs, if at all possible. But I know that if I do that, getting to Sanctuary itself is going to be a nightmare after that. Whew. Come here, tuna. Alright, well, since I think I'm kind of out of things to talk about, I'll just see you guys whenever Sanctuary comes into view. Assuming we make it. I think that storm is going to be heading straight for us. Yeah, it looks like we're about to come across the north end, or north side, of the Dragon Cliffs themselves. Which means Crab Beach and Sanctuary should not be far from sight. That might be Crab Beach up there. So I should probably turn a bit more like this. I should probably turn a little bit more like this. This is definitely the upside of the smaller boats. You might not be able to carry as much, but they are definitely easier to clean. Okay. Right, yeah, we're definitely past the northern side of the Dragon Cliffs now. Can we see Sanctuary from here? Not by the looks of it. It's straight northeast of Crab Beach. Dang it. So I didn't go out as far east as I really wanted to, but that storm probably didn't help out much either, so... Oh well. Probably another one of those what can you do moments. I'm gonna bring this thing up. Let this one down. This one can get some tighter wind. At least in theory, anyway. Aha! Now we can see Sanctuary. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what the best course of action might be. Sailing out north and then kind of coming back around probably wouldn't be the worst idea. In fact, it might be the only option. How much time do we have for... Okay, it's due in 3 days, so we have plenty of time. Let's go and turn off these lights. I suppose another option could be like to head kind of towards the sun. I think for right now I'll just keep this current course. Slow and steady wins the race after all. We're not exactly in a huge hurry here. Oh, get. So we're going about 4 knots right now. Which I think the maximum for this thing is about 10. I did see someone mention in the Steam discussions, they would like to see like larger, I wouldn't say continents, but definitely larger sizes of land that you can actually sail along as opposed to just crossing an endless ocean. I'm not opposed to that idea. In all honesty, I think that'd actually be kind of interesting. Maybe somewhere like far off to the west, there could be actually like an actual continent. Like it wouldn't have to be anything other than maybe just like a cliff face along the entire way. I mean, there definitely wouldn't have to be anything beyond what's actually visible with the player's vision. The actual size of the continent can be hidden just with some hills and stuff. But imagine like sailing along a coast and delivering to numerous different towns. That seems kind of interesting to me. What doesn't seem interesting to me is crashing into this beach. In fact, I think just to avoid some trouble, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn like this, get some speed up, and then we're just going to turn and face the sun directly. Then once we get a ways away from the island, we'll kind of turn back north. I'm just going to let this thing go completely, then just tighten it on this side again. I might have a good enough angle to bring the topsail out again. Not the most ideal angle, but I mean, if it works, it works. I'm not a fan of how it actually kind of dips into the water, though. That is a little strange to me. It's probably something you wouldn't want in real life. How we doing? I could probably get some more water. Yeah, this is why Sanctuary is such a pain. It's because the wind blows directly from Sanctuary. You have to sail out quite a ways and then circle back around to it. But, presumably, we should get some decent speed up now. I just love that though. Just seeing some random structure sticking out of the ocean like that. Especially after such a long journey. That's Newport over there. That's Crab Beach itself. I doubt we can see the Serpent Isle from here, but I'm going to look anyway. Nope, can't really see Serpent Isle, but I think Serpent Isle might be hiding behind like the main body of Crab Beach. But after we deliver to Sanctuary, we'll just have Crab Beach and then Newport to deliver to, and then we can start preparations for heading north to Astron. And we can begin the final little stretch of this little challenge series that I've got going on. Is that's something on my screen? Never mind. I thought I was seeing another island out in the distance. Now, Sage Hills is my favorite island because it has, you know, this canal that goes right through the middle of it, and that's how you deliver to it. But Sanctuary actually has a pretty cool little feature itself. If we're lucky, we can see it in this video. Otherwise, we might have to wait until the next episode before I can actually show it off. It has like a little archway that I believe you could actually sail under with a small boat like this, or the Cacum. Possibly the Cog, but the Cog is definitely bigger than this boat or the Cacum. I miss the Cog. The Cog was such a good boat. Okay, we're about parallel with Sanctuary. I'm going to wait till we get past it before we make a turn up north again. Let's see if I can see the wake. It's such a simple addition to the game, but it does make the water feel a bit more realistic. I believe I could probably make the turn now. I'm going to wait till I get out a little bit further, though. Okay, nothing appears to be biting, so I'll just put the fishing pole away. In fact, actually, what I might do is I'll just do this. So the wind is blowing from pretty much directly from the northeast. I might not actually be able to make that if I were to turn now. It looks like in theory I should be able to, but it might be wiser to just wait for a little bit longer, then make the turn. That way we're not fighting the wind any more than we have to. But yeah, personally, I cannot wait to see what the future of this game actually brings. I'm really looking forward to this next update where we can finally have some more places to sail and not the exact same 3 archipelagos over and over and over again. And I believe there's 1 or 2 new boats coming with this update as well. I don't know if it's a big one and a small one, or if it's just a small one, or if it's just a big one. I guess we'll find out soon enough, though. Though, I was expecting the update to be out by now, to be honest. Like, it's already halfway, well, past halfway into October. Like, I'm recording this on the 17th. It'll probably be uploaded on the 18th, or maybe the 19th. I think I'm going to say that's probably good enough. Let's make this turn. There we go. Yeah, overshot that a little bit. I would prefer to sail around the east side of the island, thank you. It'll make launching next episode so much simpler. Right, so I slept to advance time, and the wind kind of pushed me further to the west, which I'm not really keen on it doing, but whatever. But yeah, this is Sanctuary. We are unfortunately arriving at night. Which is kind of a shame, because this island is really, really cool. I suppose I could anchor out here just to kind of let time pass so we can see the island in its glory in the daytime, but do I really want to do that? No, I'm fully rested basically, so I'd have to wait forever for my fatigue bar to go back down. I don't have any rum on me. I keep rum around just for, like, open ocean crossings. I don't really worry about it whenever I'm doing island hopping jobs like this. And I know I could turn in right now, but the problem is there's a shallow area right over there by that tree. Like, there's kind of a U-shaped or a horseshoe bay to this island. Oh, and there's the archway right there. Fortunately, you can't see it right now in all its glory. And if possible, I'd really like to come in from the east because it'll just make launching that much simpler in the next video. Of course, I might not have that luxury. So the wind is blowing from the northeast. I think what I could do is I could just turn east, sail past the island a bit. And then kind of turn back west. Yeah, here we go. This should be sufficient, but I can't see the flag. I find this flag isn't quite as reliable as the one up top. I don't know if that's just my imagination. I mean, logically, it shouldn't be just my imagination, but... Is this like an actual flag, or is this an actual windsock? Pretty sure it's like an actual flag. A windsock might make more sense, though. Because a flag is going to be flapping around all over the place. You know, a windsock isn't going to have that kind of problem. Let's turn a bit further to the north. Because I don't want to have any launching problems whenever I come back. No, actually, I might be able to make this turn now. Yeah, maybe not. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes. But I will start raising this thing up. Just for that little bit of extra control. Okay, I think now's the moment. Yeah, I'm also going to go in and lower this. This is the nice thing about these smaller boats, is they can turn on a dime, basically. Okay. Now we get you, we put you there. We make you nice and tight. There we go. Alright, time to unload. We have a full boatload of tea and weed. You know, there's one YouTuber I kind of wished is still around, or was still around, is one YouTuber I wish who was still around, there we go, is Nagadol. Nagadol was a YouTuber I watched back in the 20-teens. He quit a few years ago because he just kind of got tired of gaming and all that kind of stuff in general. Which I can't say I blame him, because gaming does get kind of old every now and then. Like, whenever I'm not recording, I'll kind of play a game a little bit whenever I get home from work, just to kind of unwind or whatever. But other than that, I don't really play games that much anymore. I'm pretty much always watching YouTube, and I'm watching, like, documentary stuff. I don't know, just like, as you get older, video games seem to be less and less interesting. Alright, let's sell the tea. We'll sell the green tobacco. We're having trouble getting into the 30,000s, aren't we? Anyway, I'll sleep until daytime, and I'll show you guys around the island, because it's actually a pretty cool island. Okay, so the sun is coming up. I doubt anything is open yet, but it's bright enough we can start taking a little look-see around this island. I mean, you've kind of got this big castle thing here. I don't really know what this thing actually would be, but I mean, mansion, castle. I suppose both could technically be correct. You've got this giant... From a distance, this looks like a volcano, but it might be an extinct volcano. Who knows? Let me up, let me up, let me up, let me up. Yeah, see, like, this could very much be the crater of a volcano. It's a little dark to see, but I can definitely see this being a volcano of some description. Banzai! Here's the archway. really cool. Actually, how deep is the water here? Phew. That's terrifying. Yeah, you can definitely sail one of the smaller boats through here. As long as you're paying attention to what you're doing. One of the bigger ships, like the brig or the sandbuck, very unlikely. There could very easily be a jump scare if you go down far enough. Oh my god. I was literally waiting for there to be something just coming out of the water. I'm not doing that again. That was oof. I know there's nothing down there, but the developer could very easily like add in some kind of sea creature or something, not say anything about it, and whenever somebody just gets curious and dives down, it just comes lunging right at you. Oh god, that would be terrifying. But the developer should totally do that. Oh man, that would be so epic. Just some random jump scare that you're not expecting in such a game. Oh god, that needs to be a thing now. So yeah, here are the energy elixir drinks you can buy. They're pretty expensive, but sooner or later, money just becomes irrelevant in this game. Over here, you've got a fish stand, but that's pretty much all that's really here. The design of the island is pretty cool, but the town itself is pretty basic, to be honest. Like, unless there's something hidden up here, which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised. Oh, this might be... Yeah, that's the limit. Can't go any higher than this. Darn it. Oh, maybe? Maybe? No, no. This is pretty much as high as it's gonna get. Okay. I'm breaking the game. Sorry, Raw Lion. I am very much breaking the game. It's kind of a whoopsie poopsies. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, because I will have more on the way somewhat soonish. And in the next episode, I think it's time we wrap things up. I think we're going to take some loads to Crab Beach, and then we're going to head up north to Newport. And from Newport, we might just set off north towards Astron, and we'll start wrapping up this LP. So, yeah, that's coming next time. Hope you guys are looking forward to it, but that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much, and goodbye.